You can't do everything on your own as a leader. And nobody is expecting you to do everything on your own as a leader. Sometimes we can get in our heads when it comes to being leaders to thinking that it is our sole responsibility to get the job done when it's not. What's going on, aspiring school leader? I am Dr. Donovan Smalls II, and welcome to Beyond the Classroom. I help aspiring school leaders land their first leadership role, navigate complex dynamics, enhance communication skills, and drive instructional excellence. I know you're enjoying this episode, but I wanted to let you know about my latest book, Beyond the Classroom, helping aspiring school leaders navigate interpersonal and organizational complexities for greater instructional impact. Now, this book is going to help you navigate the learning curve as you transition from being a classroom teacher to a school leader, manage your busy schedule and reclaim your time to effectively be an instructional leader, take a holistic approach towards school leadership, and increase your instructional impact by fostering a school culture of feedback and coaching. So if you are an aspiring school leader looking to be an effective practitioner, head over to my website and grab your copy today. Today we're going to be talking about leading without authority. Leading without authority. Now, when it comes to leadership, you being an aspiring school leader, you have to understand that there can be a tendency to lead with authority, meaning you are relying on the power and the position that you have to tell and dictate to people what they should be doing. And we know that, yes, there may be a time and place for leading with authority and influencing people in a way that is based on your position and the power that you hold. However, we understand and we know that leading with influence is greater than leading with authority, because you're developing a level of trust. You're helping people to understand who you are. You're more collaborative in your approach to leadership. And sometimes we are looking at some really successful people and they may have more of an authoritarian sort of leadership style, and that may actually fit them and their personality. However, what happens if that's not your personality? What happens if you are more meek in your personality? What happens if you are somebody that is more introverted in your personality? What do you do if you are a leader who's just not as outgoing as others? And regardless of your personality, I challenge you to lead not with authority, but lead with influence. And I just want to make a quick distinction, because I do believe that we are not supposed to be leading with authority, but we should be leading in authority. So when you lead with authority, you're really focusing on and relying on your position or your title to enforce rules and expectations. But this can also show a level of incompetence in terms of your trust and ability, your ability to trust other people, your ability to actually relinquish some of the power that you hold and be collaborative in your approach so that we can get the job done. Ultimately, if you're leading with authority, this approach can be effective in certain situations. I'm not saying that there aren't situations where we shouldn't be stern. There aren't situations where we shouldn't be decisive. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be situations where we need to make sure that we are being assertive in some of our situations and encounters with other people. But I am saying that we should be operating in our influence, because when we are operating in our influence, we actually are showing that we trust other people. And in some situations, our lack of trust can be rooted in insecurity. It can be rooted in our ability to think that we should control any situation that we encounter. And as a leader, that's absolutely just not true. Right? There are certain situations, many situations, obviously, where you should be relinquishing a lot of the responsibility to other people, providing them with the type of training and support that they need to get the job done. And leading in authority, which is what we should be doing as leaders, it is about owning your expertise. It's operating in the values that you have. It is actually communicating the vision and allowing other people to also come alongside the vision and carry it out with you for the betterment of students. And so that is the key, right? The difference between leading with authority and leading in authority. Just because you have the title in and of itself is going to warrant a level of power and authority that you have, but you have to learn that you need to operate in your authority and walk confidently in it because you already have it. So there's no need to try to control situations all the time and dictate and determine what other people should do and how they should carry out their particular position if you are operating in authority. Because there's a level of integrity that comes with that allows people to see who you truly are. So we are going to get into 3 strategies to lead without authority. And I think that this is going to be transformational in your leadership journey, particularly when you transition from being a classroom teacher to a school leader. Now, the first strategy is harness the power of influence. And again, we kind of talked a little bit about that a few minutes ago, but I want you to understand that operating in your influence and operating in the power of influence and harnessing the power of influence means that you're guiding others toward shared goals through values and vision. Shared goals, shared responsibility, collective responsibility, collective efficacy. Those are the things that you need to be thinking about as you begin to make the transition into school leadership. It's about harnessing the power of influence. And I like that word harnessing because it implies that you already have the power and authority by way of the position that you're in, but you are harnessing in it. You're harnessing the power of influence to distribute it to other people so that they can exercise and operate in their greatness as well. You can't do everything on your own as a leader. And nobody is expecting you to do everything on your own as a leader. Sometimes we can get in our heads when it comes to being leaders to thinking that it is our sole responsibility to get the job done when it's not. We as leaders are supposed to set the vision and then empower other people to come alongside us to carry out that vision. And so again, number 1 is harness the power of influence. I know you're enjoying this episode, but I wanted to let you know about my latest book, Beyond the Classroom, helping aspiring school leaders navigate interpersonal and organizational complexities for greater instructional impact. Now, this book is going to help you navigate the learning curve as you transition from being a classroom teacher to a school leader, manage your busy schedule and reclaim your time to effectively be an instructional leader, take a holistic approach towards school leadership, and increase your instructional impact by fostering a school culture of feedback and coaching. So if you are an aspiring school leader looking to be an effective practitioner, head over to my website and grab your copy today. Our second strategy toward leading without authority is leverage strategic questions. Leverage strategic questions. And I want you to emphasize the power of open-ended questions, because what open-ended questions will do, it invites ideas from other people. As opposed to you giving a directive all the time as a leader, when you start to ask open-ended questions, right? Not yes or no questions, you start to bring in the genius of other people. And here's the trick to being a great leader. When you surround yourself with other people who are more competent than you actually look like you are smarter than you actually are, right? If you look at some of the greatest sports teams or organizations, you understand that there are people who are better than the leader. The leader surrounds themselves with people who have an expertise in areas where they don't, because it makes them actually look better. And so if you want to be an effective leader, you have to empower other people to do what they do well. If you want to be a leader who is driving the instructional change that you would like to see, surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. Surround yourself with people who know what they are doing when it comes to driving the instructional change that we all seek to have. That is one of the greatest keys that I have learned from some of my mentors. It's surround yourself with people who are better than you. But that is obviously going to take a level of emotional intelligence for you to not sit in your ego, right? It is easy to be an egotistical leader who starts to take on this persona of, I know it all, I can do it all. But that is false. And we can all see through that. The greatest leaders empower other people because we all have areas of expertise. We all have niches that we operate in our genius in. But if you're going to be an effective school leader, you have to understand that this is about teamwork. This is about collaboration. And so number 2, when you leverage strategic questions, you are actually inviting people into the process of creating change. That is a major key. All right. So again, number 1 was harness the power of influence. And number 2, leverage strategic questions. And lastly, our third strategy is stay solution oriented under pressure. When you step into a leadership role, people are going to constantly look at you to solve problems. They're going to constantly look at you to determine how you react to issues, specifically when it comes to being under pressure. Because when you're in a leadership role, or just human beings in general, when we are in or under pressure, sometimes we tend to be snappy when it comes to directing people in terms of what to do. Sometimes we can start to be restrictive in the responsibilities that we give other people because we think that we should be controlling the entire situation. And so people are watching how you handle situations to determine whether you are an effective leader or not, whether you have the level of credibility to lead them to be better teachers for their students. And so as an aspiring school leader, you have to think about staying cool, calm, and collected under pressure and staying solution oriented, because the problems, the issues, the concerns are going to come toward you as a leader, and you have to be able to handle those problems and those situations with a level of grace, with a level of control, with a level of poise, right? With a level of poise that shows people that you are the best person for the job. If you can stay calm, cool, and collected, and then tap into the greatness of other people, the team that you are a part of, that's when you truly begin to see the change that you are seeking to make. Because if you can handle problems in situations when they are full of pressure, then that is a great sign that you are on your way to being the effective school leader that you want to be. As we begin to wrap up this video, today we went over 3 strategies to lead without authority. And number 1 was harness the power of influence. Number 2, leverage strategic questions. And number 3, stay solution-oriented under pressure. In the comment section, I want you to reflect on which strategy you are going to apply first. Are you going to focus on the power of influence? Are you going to leverage strategic questions? Or are you going to think more about staying solution-oriented and keeping your poise under pressure? I want you to remember that leadership is not about leading with authority. Leadership is about harnessing that authority, operating in your influence and authority, and leading people in a collaborative way. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, share it with somebody else so that we can continue to impact as many aspiring school leaders as we can. I hope you have a great week of teaching, leading, and learning. Take care. Love that you talked about mindset, because mindset is extremely important as you become a school leader. And so that leads us into our second complexity, which is navigating the learning curve, right? Whenever you are promoted to the next level in your career, you will always begin as a novice. So it doesn't matter that you are an effective classroom teacher, you have raving reviews from your students. Becoming a school leader is a different skill set. And so we need to start teaching aspiring school leaders that it takes a level of emotional intelligence and self-awareness to understand just because you got results doesn't mean you're going to get results here. You need to work at this. And so one of the things I constantly think about is the fact that the learning curve can be steep. As a teacher, I'm walking into the building with a set schedule. As a leader, I might have a set schedule if I'm planning properly, but it might immediately become obsolete as soon as I walk in the building. The learning curve that I had to navigate was I'm walking in the building with my bags on. Teachers are firing questions at me. I haven't even made it to my desk yet. How am I navigating that? With being tactful.